Hello, we are on number 6 of our daily meditation on Psalm 23. Today we're looking at verse 4. The psalmist writes, "Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil." The words shadow of death is one word in the original language, made up of two words. And so we find that a variant reading, which you find in the margin of your Bible, might say that this means the valley of deep darkness. The Jewish Bible says it's the death dark ravines. Some translations leave out the word death, leaving the text to say the valley of deep darkness or the valley of deep shadow. The emphasis of that word is on the shadow, the dark place. And so what is the shepherd alluding to? Well, shepherds know all about this dark shadow, as they have to lead their sheep into new pastures, often through dangerous hill country, strong flowing rivers, in rain and storms, in danger of rock slides, dealing with the hazards of poisonous plants and snakes, and of course other predators. Now David, who had looked after his father's sheep since a young boy, knew all the dangers of the job. He had experienced most of the dark experiences that a shepherd could. Rescuing a sheep who had fallen down a ravine, searching for a lost sheep who had strayed, protecting the flock by beating off wild animals, also watching carefully over the sheep because wool-loaded sheep who lost their footing and rolled onto their back would die because they couldn't get up without the shepherd's help. David had handled and managed his sheep with care through all these adverse kind of conditions. The sheep felt safe when he was with them, and he was fully prepared to safeguard his sheep under every circumstance. David's understanding of God was simple. If I am so caring for the sheep and always looking after them, then I'm sure the great shepherd of the sheep is caring for me as well, because I am his sheep. Note that the psalmist says, even though I walk through. It does not say that I die there or stop there. He's talking about the journey through. Now this psalm is popular at funerals because death is a dark valley. We pass through it to a more perfect life in eternity with Christ. We don't come to a stop in death. We pass through. Death is not the end, it actually is the beginning. Now David knew that in the presence of God, he need not fear anything, either in this life or in eternity. In the Lord our God, we are secure against the destructiveness of our yesterdays, the menaces of today, and the darkening fears of tomorrow. David is in exile. Things look very dark for David, the king of Israel, because his own son wants him dethroned and dead. And the weight of this trouble lies heavily on him. The pain that he feels in his heart is sharp and cruel, and dark clouds hang over his life. And he is walking through the valley of the shadow of death, that valley of deep darkness. And yet in all this, David is able to see and realize the goodness of God. There's no shouting at God or blaming God of abandoning him. His trouble did not blind him to the Almighty's guidance, presence, and love around him. David could look out over the whole range of his life, back into the past, around him in the present, and onward into the future, and see throughout it all the hand of the one who is the Lord his shepherd. If you are walking through a dark valley right now, you need to know that you're not going through it on your own. The I Am is with you.